Good morning, besties. It's just a wonderful week. Thought I'd talk to you about some stuff. I'm smiling because I just played guitar. I'm making a part of a metaphor here. So this is this idea that you have to write the most unique thing possible. That like you can write something new. So I set the AC to 65 degrees, which is like 12 degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know. It's chilly. Helps the kids sleep better at night, and it's really early. So let's talk about this idea that you're gonna create something brand new and then everyone doesn't like it. First of all, congratulations. This is the problem that everyone encounters in writing. That's it. Am I trying to write something unique? No. I don't know that I'm writing something unique. I'm just writing it with my own twist on it. And I think that is what's going on. It's like every time that something is written, then the author or the creator puts their own like voice into it, right? So I'm actually going to play guitar today. I'm going to splice in a clip of a composition I put together for my daughter. If you have a trained musical ear, you might hear where it's coming from. And at the end, I'm going to play the original, right? So what I've done is I've broken down a song, and I'm going to play it here. Okay, so hopefully that didn't sound too terrible. Sound quality wise, I don't care if it sounds bad to you because it makes my daughter happy and my son happy. Anyway, so gotta splice together these videos in order now. So that was something I created myself, but I used somebody else's music, right? And as you're gonna listen more to this, you're gonna hear it. So here's what happens. There's a reason why someone became a creative or a writer or an author, right? And it's because they saw something and they said, I want to make that myself. I want to make that my own version. I think I could do better, or I think I could do something like this but better, right? And I'm not saying that I'm better than the Beatles, and I think you know where I'm going with this, but what I'm saying is that I put my own spin on things, right? And when I went to college, I learned guitar, classical style, right? Or specifically Spanish classical guitar, right? And so, like, there's a reason I play it the way that I play it, right? I don't use a pick. I use a pick in the ears. Usually got my nails a little bit trimmed for that. But that's because that's like me as a guitar playing dude. And so this brings you back to, so I recently read, so Ramon Diocampo narrated the most recent book of The Rune Professor, which is currently my favorite ongoing series. So shout out to Actus, who I actually talked to previously, and I was like, hey, is this up? He's like, no, not yet. I'm like, come on, man. And he's like, I'm like, oh, it's just a pre-order because I got an ad for it. Like when I get an Amazon ad for an author that I know, and I'm just like, oh, yeah. So Runebound Professor, I highly recommend it. Runebound Professor does something that I do not recommend for new authors, and I know that he's doing it because it is mostly third person, limited to Noah, the main character. But then every so often he splices in these first person asides from the same character, sometimes other characters, I think, which I know are written like in italics. And I've been telling new authors, before you use a technique like that, understand why they're doing it and understand why. I recommend doing other things first, and if possible, making it a third person POV the entire way through, or first person all the way through. The weakness of first person in prose is that you are laser focused on the one character, right? So if you have one main character, right, like Noah is obviously the main character, but then there will be the further along the series it goes, the further outward from Noah, like eventually you'll get a scene with his like assistant professor. You'll get a scene with like his demon companion, because I mean, Actus has a thing where like every book has a demon companion, right? So actually, Actus, I'm going to dedicate that song to you today because you made me happy. I have no beef with Actus. I just wish he showed up more in Versa Pink. So Actus's thing is like every book that he writes has a little demon friend in it, right? Which is like, that's his thing. Like my thing is like found family and existential risk. And going forward, I'm going to probably try to introduce as few characters as possible for as long as possible. I'm going to keep it to 1 or 2 characters in the beginning. If they're going to do a training sequence, that's what I'm going to do, right? Because I am getting a feeling like, okay, I'm going to write a comedy, or it's going to have comedic elements, and I'm thinking about doing just a straight up bog standard book and seeing how that fares. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. But like I have the Romantic on the block, and I'm going to give that a shot, and that's going to be a comedy. And that might end up being 1 book. It might end up being 8 books, because if you saw my Romantic book thing, I don't know. I'm all over the place today. But so if you are going to take my torture metaphor, at the very end of this video, I'm going to play a short clip of me playing the actual song, which I'd learned through guitar tabs. Don't know how to read. I know how to read music, but not guitar music. I mean, I could. It's just easier to read tabs. If you take the original idea, right? Like, so I'm thinking about. I just finished Stubborn Skill Grinder in a Time Loop, and I like, oh man, I have so many ideas, because he's just grinding his skills in time loop, and the only little RPG skill he has is like, every skill has like a number, right? And you can get it up to each skill up to like 100, and at 100 you become a grandmaster. And like, so I could see the progression. So it takes him all the whole book, and he's not a grandmaster, but he's like looping around trying to defeat this like scourge of the planet before it even lands. And I'm just thinking about, okay, now if I was going to do a looper book with a spear wielder, all right, how would I do that? And I'm thinking about how, so Actus doesn't do time. So in Runebound Professor, there's some time loops, but there is a death reset thing where the main character resets every time he dies, and his body goes back someplace. I don't think I want to do that, but it's an interesting thing, because then I realized that every time he dies, that the body has to be recovered or destroyed. So it's like, it makes things difficult for him at first, until he figures out a fix for it, and then the fix is like weird. So Rune Professor, highly recommend it. But I like these two things, so I'm like looking at them. I'm like Rune Professor. I wrote a professor in an academy setting, actually a community college setting. I wrote a. I've not written a straight fighter one yet, in terms of just it being straight. But I think I would do like a soul spear, or like the spear cuts through the water type thing. So I'm going to take some time this week to kind of plot out like a mashup between Stubborn Skill Grinder and Time Loop and Rune Professor. Make the main character a spear wielder. See how that's going, because apparently spears are in right now. Who would have known? Yeah. But that's my thoughts right now. So, how's the writing going? It's going. I have 2 more edits left. Thought it was done with Caravan Place, but then it'll be out. But what I'm going to leave you with today is the original, which I think that you will like. And then this is my own. Don't get on me, Apple, or Spotify. This is my own compilation and own arrangement, and I'm still murky on some of these arrangement and copyright terms. But this is not going to be monetized. I don't have enough followers to monetize. But if you like me playing, leave a comment. This is one of the few things, this one and All Across the Universe, where I have an alternate arrangement that I've made or adapted. I do have my own adaptation of Classical Gas. But yeah, so good writing, and I'm going to let Rocky Raccoon roll. Enjoy.